Coming up on Primetime News, 82 South Koreans, mostly in their twilight years, shed tears of joy as they are reunited with their long-lost loved ones in the north. We bring you closer to the emotional event. It became clear to the world that no one defines greatness in figure skating quite like Kim Yeon-ah. The judges were shockingly stingy with their points, but the spectators learned for sure that there are no rivals or equals to the reigning Ice Queen. And more viewers in the U.S. will have access to Arirang TV, courtesy of DirecTV, one of the world's leading providers of digital television entertainment services, with more than 285 channels. We have these and more up next.
Arirang, now on DirecTV.
It is 5 a.m. in Los Angeles, 5 p.m. in Sochi, and 10 on a Thursday evening here in Seoul. Good evening to our viewers in Korea, and hello to those of you who are watching from around the world. You're watching Primetime News live from Seoul. I'm Yoo Ji-hye.
And I'm Daniel Chen. Thank you for joining us. And a very hearty hello and welcome to those of you watching us for the first time through DirecTV, America's #1 satellite television provider.
But this is a special evening for those of us here at Arirang TV, as we are thrilled to announce that starting today, Arirang TV will be available on DirecTV on channel number 2095.
For more on this exciting debut for Arirang TV, joining us this hour from the United States is a very familiar name and face, Sean Lim, who is standing by at our studio in Los Angeles. Hello there, Sean. Tell us more about this momentous occasion.
Well, hey guys, starting today, many DirecTV customers in the United States may be happy to see Arirang TV in their channel lineup. Now, DirecTV, which is based here in Southern California, is a satellite television service that competes with cable TV. And starting today, Arirang becomes one of DirecTV's public interest channels. So that means subscribers don't have to pay any extra money to enjoy Arirang TV programming.
So, Sean, we also understand DirecTV not only goes out to households all across the United States, but would also be available at airports, hotels, hospitals, automobiles, and portable electronics, which certainly will give Arirang quite an extended reach.
Right, this means Arirang now reaches about 123 million households in 188 countries, which certainly gives our station a greater platform to deliver more news and entertainment about Korea to a worldwide audience. And for more, our Na Hyung-gung explains the great potential of this broadcasting partnership for the nation's global brand image.
Arirang TV has now been added to DirecTV's programming as a public interest channel. In the U.S., HD subscribers of DirecTV, one of the world's leading providers of digital television entertainment services, will now be able to watch Korea's only English language broadcaster, Arirang TV. The Korean broadcaster's CEO says it's a truly exciting time for Arirang to be one of the pioneers in this field, given the rapid expansion and growing presence of the Asian American community. But the deal did not come by easily.
Because we are a Korean channel, there was the great possibility that we would be limited to the Korean language package or an international package. So we weren't really sure even until the very end exactly what type of U.S. market we would be able to reach.
DirecTV is one of the world's leading providers of digital television entertainment services with more than 285 channels. Through its subsidiaries and affiliated companies, DirecTV provides its service to over 20 million customers in the U.S. and over 17 million in South America. And now Arirang TV is available on DirecTV's not international but English package on channel 2095. Arirang TV, which was launched in 1997, is currently available in more than 120 million households in the Asia-Pacific, Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, and Americas, reaching practically every corner of the world 24 hours a day.
Korea and the U.S. have, for decades been one of the closest allies. It is just the right time to be able to target directly a U.S. audience and let the U.S. audience know directly about what is going on in Korean politics, about what is going on in Korea's economy, and to really foster the blossoming sort of cultural exchanges that are going on now between the two countries.
Arirang being added onto DirecTV may not be the biggest milestone for the company, the CEO says, in terms of numbers, but she believes it certainly is an amazing accomplishment given the time this deal comes at. 나현경, Arirang News, Los Angeles.
I think this is very important for several reasons. For one reason, it is going to help Korea in terms of relationships all over the world. People from every culture who speak English will know more about Korea. That is good for the Korean people, probably also good for the Korean economy. Also, people will better understand culture and the arts from Korea because they will be able to access this information in English.
I am very much excited that Arirang TV will be available through DirecTV beginning on February 20th. I'm a frequent viewer of Arirang TV, and I know that all of you will enjoy discovering the uniqueness of Korea. Congratulations once again to both Arirang TV and DirecTV on your new partnership.
The contributions of Koreans and Korean Americans here in the United States, in Southern California, have been manifold in business and culture, in all aspects of our life. And now, with this merger, with this coming together, we will have the opportunity to make sure the very widest audience will get the information that they need to improve the quality of their lives. So on behalf of the city, congratulations, and here's to great days ahead. 감사합니다.
And while our team was here in Los Angeles, we further explored the debate into the Comfort Woman statue placed outside of Glendale City Hall. It is an exact replica of the original situated in front of the Japanese embassy in Seoul. Our Hwang Jae covered this story and met with key people who are bringing this humanitarian issue to light. Jie.
Sean, here in Los Angeles, Japan's recent move to the right and its continued denials to its atrocities in the early 20th century have not gone unnoticed. The Comfort Woman statue in Glendale City, just north of Los Angeles, is one of the evidence. Since being installed last summer, the Comfort Woman memorial statue in the city of Glendale has been at the center of controversy. The statue honors 200,000 women, mostly Korean, who were forced into prostitution for the Japanese military during World War II. Phyllis Kim, a member of the Korean American Forum of California, which led the charge to get the monument up, hopes the bronze statue educates people.
We want the people to know about the pains and sufferings of the victims and what really happened during 1930s and World War II to these women.
City officials have been under a lot of pressure to remove the statue through thousands of emails and phone calls, some even from the Japanese government. Glendale City Council member Zhang Dejiang says, however, that removal is not an option.
Several things for those that want to remove it. The first thing is that this statue will not be removed. It will not be taken away forever.
All this is adding pressure on the Japanese government, which has been taking an aggressive nationalistic stance recently. Representative Adam Schiff, who along with two other lawmakers sent a letter to Secretary of State John Kerry asking him to address Comfort Woman issues with the Japanese government, says that such views are broadly held among American politicians. Representative Schiff was also a strong supporter of a 2007 resolution on the issue of Comfort Woman.
They should hear an apology. And they should not hear any prominent officials in Japan speaking either with deliberate ambiguity or worse, with denial about this chapter in history.
And many residents in Glendale say they're proud that the community there included and is acting on an issue that needs recognition, putting the risky nationalism in Japan in an even riskier position. Sean?
All right, thanks, Jihei. And in another hot issue here in the U.S., a new law in the state of Virginia to reform school textbooks seems imminent. Our Kim Han-ul over in Washington, D.C. has more on the grassroots efforts to adopt the proper usage of the name EC when describing the body of water separating Korea and Japan. Han-ul, hello there.
Yes, Sean. The bill is waiting for final approval from Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, and sources say it will likely take place in a quiet manner by the end of this month. Well, there was some political opposition to stop this bill, but educators are welcoming the news. Well, I had a chance to sit down with a public school official in Virginia to discuss the impact this will have on the students.
Textbook publishers supplying new textbooks to Virginia's public schools in 2016 will be required to add the name EC to reference the body of water separating Korea and Japan alongside the name Sea of Japan. This means by 2017, students will likely see both names in maps and history books and atlases. Since 6 other schools in the region also purchased textbooks from the same big-name publishers, the move will affect 7 states in total. An education official from Fairfax County, Virginia, where 40,000 out of 1.1 million residents are Korean, believes the change will have a positive impact on students.
I think it's helpful to have the EC designation in the textbooks because we are a very diverse community, and in addition, it's good for students to hear other perspectives, why certain populations might feel a way about a name. I think it brings up a good conversation topic in the classroom.
High support from Korean American voters in electing Virginia's new governor also played a role in passing the bill.
It's more of a political issue in Virginia. Our current Korean American population in Virginia is 82,000. Our Japanese American population is only 19,000. So I think it was easy for the Korean Americans to make their case politically. They did play a role.
Following the success in Virginia, the grassroots movement is spreading to other states as well, most recently Maryland, also the state of New York, New Jersey, and California pushing to pass a similar bill. Back to you, Sean.
All right, thanks, Han-ul. And that does it for us here from our Los Angeles studio at our sister station, RK-TV. DirecTV subscribers with access to Arirang TV can now turn to channel 2095 or request it from their operator. Guys, back to you in Seoul.
Well, thank you, Sean, for that. And special thanks to all our reporters throughout the U.S. for that exciting coverage.
Arirang now on DirecTV.
We now shift gears to an overwhelming set of reunions that have been dreamed about for more than 60 years.
The 82 South Korean families separated by the Korean War crossed the inter-Korean border on Thursday to reunite with their families in the north. Our Kim Ji-yeon reports on the highly emotional event.
Thank God you're still alive. These were the first words from 52-year-old South Korean Park Geun-hye as he embraced his North Korean elder brother Park Yang-soo for the first time in decades. Park Geun-hye was one of the South Korean individuals chosen to travel to North Korea's Mount Kumgang Resort on Thursday to meet with long-lost family. They represent the first cross-border reunions in more than 3 years. Park's elder brother was taken to North Korea while sailing on a ship in 1972, and for more than 4 decades, his family didn't hear a single word from him until today. Leading up to Thursday's meeting, Park struggled to put his feelings into words.
My parents passed away not knowing how their son was doing. My parents couldn't tell anyone what they were really feeling. The feeling of losing your child like this isn't something one can fully comprehend.
Park and 81 others from the South are scheduled to meet with separated family members on 6 separate occasions over the next 3 days for a total of 11 hours before returning to South Korea Saturday afternoon. The second round of reunions will begin 1 day later and run through Tuesday, where 88 North Koreans will reunite with around 360 of their estranged relatives from the South. There are currently tens of thousands of South Koreans on a waiting list to meet one last time with their loved ones in the North, and hope is dwindling. Many of those seeking reunions are well into their 80s and 90s, and many more have already passed away, never getting that final chance to speak to and embrace those they love and miss the most. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
President Park Geun-hye has reiterated her call for reform of Korea's inefficient state enterprises and public institutions that are reeling from skyrocketing debts and lax management.
She called on ministries in charge to take a look at the mirror. Our Kwon-soa reports.
Officials from 3 government ministries went to the presidential office of Cheongwade this morning to hand in their status reports and left with an order from the president to reassess how public institutions function in the country. President Park Geun-hye once again called on the Ministry of Strategy and Finance, the Financial Services Commission, and Korea Fair Trade Commission to look into reducing the debt of public institutions, tackling mismanagement, and increasing productivity.
단계적으로 공공기관 기능을 전면 재검토해서 핵심 업무에 역량을 집중하도록 하고 기관의 내부와 외부 모두 경쟁 원리를 적용해서 효율성을 높여가야 하겠습니다.
President Park also mentioned that acts that hurt economically weak businesses must be eradicated and asked for measures that would restore the people's trust in financial institutions after the recent leak of personal data by 3 major credit card companies. To do that, she asked that the creation of a Financial Consumer Protection Board go ahead without delay. Kwon-soa, Arirang News.
And in the spirit of strengthening diplomatic and strategic ties between Seoul and Beijing, some 40 South Korean lawmakers has arrived in China for a 4-day visit.
The parliamentary group, the largest ever from Korea to visit China, met Thursday with Beijing's top legislator Zhang Dejiang. Now, during their meetings, the 2 sides exchanged views on the North Korean nuclear issue. South Korean Representative Chung Mong-joon said the greatest threat to Northeast Asia is a nuclear development in North Korea. Zhang, in response, said Beijing stands against Pyongyang's possession of nuclear weapons and added that he supports President Park Geun-hye's trust-building efforts on the peninsula. The Korean lawmakers will visit the Free Trade Zone and Shanghai before returning home on Sunday. China's Vice Foreign Minister arrived in South Korea late Thursday after finishing up a 4-day visit to North Korea.
Liu Zhenmin met with North Korean officials in Pyongyang earlier this week, where he said he had candid discussions on North Korea's nuclear weapons program. This is the first time ever that a high-ranking Chinese official like Liu has made back-to-back visits from Pyongyang to Seoul, which is fueling speculations that progress is being made in international efforts to denuclearize North Korea. During his 3-day visit to Seoul, the minister is scheduled to hold talks with his South Korean counterpart Lee Kyung-soo and Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se. The second and final group of Korean survivors from a bus bombing in Egypt, along with the body of one who died, came home on Thursday.
The 15 surviving victims were taken to a hospital upon their arrival, with some requiring urgent treatment for shrapnel wounds. The body of Jae Jin-soo, who blocked the suicide bomber from gaining access to the bus, arrived in Korea this afternoon. The bodies of the 2 other fatalities are scheduled to return Friday. Sunday's apparent suicide attack on a tour bus in the Sinai Peninsula killed 3 Korean pilgrims and an Egyptian driver. An Islamist extremist group has claimed responsibility for the terror attack. It's time for a wrap-up of stories making headlines around the world, from chaos in Ukraine to a fresh radioactive leak in Japan.
For these and more, our Yurian joins us live from the Arirang News Center. Lian, take it away.
Hi guys, let me take you straight to Ukraine, where a truce agreement between President Viktor Yanukovych and opposition leaders failed to put the violent clashes to rest. Now, new reports indicate at least 20 people have died in fresh violence in Kiev's Independence Square on Thursday morning, only hours after the truce was reached. A meeting between EU foreign ministers from Germany, France, and Poland and President Yanukovych is underway, according to Ukrainian media. Speaking of unrest, tensions are also brewing in Venezuela. The death toll from recent anti-government protests has risen to 5, the latest being a 22-year-old female model. Violence continues in Venezuela as thousands of protesters await to hear the fate of jailed opposition leader Leopoldo López. Now, López has been leading the weeks-long protests against President Nicolás Maduro over his handling of the economy and shortages of basic food items. Now, over in the United States, the Department of Homeland Security is warning airlines to watch out for explosives hidden in the shoes of passengers. The U.S. government is working off of intelligence that terror groups have been working on new shoe bomb designs. Now, this is the second such warning from the U.S. government after it told airlines to be on the lookout for explosives hidden in toothpaste tubes in direct flights to Russia ahead of the opening for the Winter Olympics in Sochi. Some disconcerting news out of Japan. TEPCO says 100 tons of highly contaminated water has leaked from the Fukushima nuclear power plant due to a malfunctioning storage tank. While nothing has been confirmed, TEPCO says it's highly unlikely that the radioactive water reached the nearby Pacific Ocean. That's all from me today, but I'll be back tomorrow with the stories making headlines around the globe.
World and Olympic champion figure skating queen Kim Yeona is this close to defending her Olympic title after her win in the ladies' short program.
For details, we connect live to our Olympics correspondent Song Ji-sun in Sochi. Ji-sun, fill us in.
Hello, guys. The IOC's official website announced Wednesday there was Yeona time, and it was Kim skating that showed the world that she was determined to go out on top in Sochi as a multiple world and Olympic champion. Kim skated an almost flawless program to the music, sending the clowns to lead the short program at 74.92 points. That's about 4 points short of her world record she set in Vancouver 4 years ago. But some are saying she should have received a higher score as her skate was clean, earning her the highest program component score here at Sochi that graced her artistic expression. Although Kim had no trouble landing her triples, Kim told reporters after her performance that she was a bit tense just before her turn, but she believed in herself and was relieved after her jumps landed successfully. After her short program performance, fans were even more convinced Kim will defend her Olympic gold to become the only third female skater in history to win 2 consecutive Olympic golds in this highly competitive event.
I'm really happy that she got the best score in the game, and I wish her more luck in the next game.
First of all, it was inspiring. I think she will win.
But Kim needs to widen or at least maintain the gap between her and the runners-up, as the top 3 are within a single point of each other. 17-year-old Russian Adelina Sotnikova fascinated home fans with a stunning performance and is just 0.28 points behind Kim. Italian Caroline Kostner also skated with great grace to Ave Maria to put her in 3rd place, just 0.8 points short of the top spot. 15-year-old Russian skating sensation Yulia Demtskaya sits in 5th place after failing to land her last jump. Korea's 2 other skaters, Kim Hae-jin and Park Soo-yeon, also advanced to free skating on Thursday as they qualified in the top 24. Park Soo-yeon is the first to skate the long program on Thursday at 7 p.m. Sochi time, and that's midnight Korea time. Kim Yeona will be the last, skating her last free program, dancing to the tango Adios No Nino, bringing the curtain down on an unparalleled skating career and saying one last goodbye to her fans. So once again a reminder, Kim will be skating in the early hours of Friday morning Korea time. Let's all cheer on and help her win a historic gold in Sochi. That's all for me from now, reporting from Sochi Media Center. Back to you guys.
All right, that was our Song Ji-sun reporting live from Sochi.
And for other highlights from the games, our Connie Lee joins us in the studio. Connie, welcome.
Good evening, Ji-hye and Daniel. Well, let's go straight to the women's bobsleigh event from yesterday, where a group of Canadian ladies are celebrating a sweet consecutive gold. In Wednesday's two-man bobsleigh, Canadian team Heather Moyes and Kaylee Humphreys once again took home the gold. They took home the gold in the Vancouver 2010 games also, but this time they barely won this event here at Sochi. The U.S. team was actually leading up until the fourth and final run of the event when they lost by 1/10 of a second. The American teams actually took home the silver and the bronze. Now let's turn to ice hockey. I know ice hockey is not a really popular sport here in Korea, but in Russia it's a bit different.
I heard it's a very popular sport, basically a national sport over there.
Exactly, so that's probably why a lot of Russians are upset today, because the Russian men's hockey team lost last night to Finland, taking them out of the medal rounds. Now, it was an exciting atmosphere in the Bolshoi Ice Dome on Wednesday, as it was a sellout crowd. But despite the Russian team being in their home turf, they lost to Finland 3-1. Now, ice hockey is their national sport, but they haven't won an Olympic gold since 1992.
Connie, we have just a few more days until the end of the Winter Olympic Games. How does the medal tally look like right now?
Right, so just 3 more days of the Sochi Olympics, and actually the medal rankings with the countries in the top 5 have been changing by the day. Currently, Norway is on the top with 10 gold medals. Now, their latest came just 2 hours ago in the Nordic cross-country event. Germany is in second place, followed by the U.S., Russia, and the Netherlands, rounding out the top 5. Now, Korea is in the top 20 at least, in the 16th place with its 2 gold medals.
Is it something in the water, or is it Korea did much better in Vancouver in 2010? We were in the top 10, right?
Yes, actually top 5. And actually in 2010, we had 6 gold medals. So unfortunately, we don't have as many gold medals this time, but maybe over the weekend we can gain some more. But also we have the figure skating, women's figure skating later tonight. And so we can also get a gold from that event. And so with that and other schedules of the events for tonight, let's take a look at the schedule. And that's all I have for today. I'll be back tomorrow.
We look forward to it. Thank you for those reports, Connie. Well, it was a typical sunny winter day here in Seoul, but things are looking different at Mount Kumgang, where the family reunions are currently taking place.
For more, let's go over to our Kim Bo-kyung at the Weather Center. Bo-kyung.
Good evening, guys. Well, Mount Kumgang is seeing snow at this hour, and it looks like another centimeter will fall through early tomorrow morning. But the good news is that after this round of snowfall, clear skies and moderate temperatures are forecast at the North Mountain Resort. And currently, the East Coast regions are seeing cloudy skies due to westerly winds. In addition to Gangwon-do province, Dokdo will see 2 to 7 centimeters of snow, but there's some relief coming. Once the snow clears out, the East Coast regions are expecting sunny skies with moderate winter temps on Friday. The rest of the nation will enjoy a typical sunny winter day. Now tomorrow, Seoul would hit 7 degrees, while Daegu, that is, and Busan reach the low teens. Moving on, Daejeon and Jeju make it to 8 degrees, while Dokdo peaks at 2. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bo-kyung. And that's a broadcast on this Thursday night. I'm Ji-hye in Seoul.
And I'm Daniel Chan. Thank you for watching. We'll leave you with some images from the cross-border union at Mount Kumgang in North Korea. Hopefully, it'll spur on a chain of events with more people cheering and hoping for Korea to be reunified someday soon.